Currently cutting slices in the bar to make some bends because I do not have a tubing bender, so I'm gonna just make a few little pie cuts and then kind of get this tube bent to the back of the Miata and see how it goes. Got both of my plates kind of mocked up here. I'm gonna go ahead and start to make the brackets to the actual bash bar, and then I can kind of figure out getting the curves correct. This is how we're looking so far. Kind of got the curve for the back, and now I kind of just got to shoot the pipe towards the tire. So I'm just gonna have to figure out what kind of cut I have to make. It took a little while to kind of get the curvature here, but we're looking pretty good. I have the crash bar kind of sticking out just a little bit further than the body, so that way if anyone does tap me or something, it'll actually do a little bit of something. But right here, I'm just gonna tighten it up a little bit there. But mostly everything is pretty good. I think I just need to make the same cut there, right about there, and then get that extra little curve on that side. But other than that, it lines up pretty nice. My bad for not recording. I'm about to make the mounts. So once the mounts are kind of made and everything's set up in place, I can kind of tack together all the cuts that I made. But like I said, I'm just gonna figure out this small little part here, and then we should be good for some welding. I'd say that looks even enough. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this tube here and make the little mount points, so that way I can kind of get an idea of how to put the bumper on and see if everything fits, and then I'll start tacking everything up. Just went ahead and chopped up that little tubing and made the notch to kind of have it sit right on there. So we're gonna go with that on both sides, and then try to mock up the bumper right now. After getting the bar kind of tacked up in there, I have the bumper support. I made some little brackets to go onto the actual chassis of the car to keep this kind of on the car itself, because I don't mind that this won't come off and I'll be able to slip my bumper on and off without any complications. So I did that. I'm just gonna cut this little tab here, but it's pretty nice and tucked up underneath the finish panel, and you don't really see it. Kind of had it to where it's even enough to where these two little tabs are sticking out on both sides, so it looks pretty good there. And then the bar itself looks even to that as well. So I'm gonna get to welding up the rest of everything. Got a lot of boogers going on, but I need to just get it kind of tacked in place so I can weld it on the ground. It's a bit later now. I went ahead and welded everything up. The mount points I'm not super happy with, but I'm gonna go ahead and fix that tomorrow. So we'll pick this up when I got some time tomorrow. So I went ahead and plated the tubes. Just got everything tacked on there for now. But we have plates all the way around the tubes. And then I'm gonna probably get a little reinforcement bar going diagonal to here, and then possibly for the top as well, because I do want to make the jack point in the middle, and I want this thing to be able to hold up for jacking up the car and or not collapse too easily if we do get into a crash. So hopefully that won't happen, but I think that now these mounts are solid enough to withstand anything here. It will probably break the welds and such, but I'm hoping that it won't damage the structure of the car itself. Worst case scenario, it will anyway, but I'm not too concerned with it. I took the bash bar off once again, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill in all of this between the pole and the braces themselves, so that way we have a nice strong sturdy point. And then after covering this up with the next plate, I'm gonna go ahead and do a diagonal to where it meets sort of the bottom of the plate-ish, to where it'll help brace it of holding it upward, because I do, like I said, want to put a little tow hitch on here and the jack point. So we'll see kind of how that turns out, but let's fill in this gap and get everything kind of connected here, and as well as the outsides. All right, so it's the next day. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting the V in here so we can get that jack point, but I'm gonna go ahead and kind of clean this little tow hitch up first, and we're gonna try to mount this here first and then make the jack bar point at the bottom of this, and then with this sandwiched in the middle, then if you can imagine, both of the bars will be connecting to the bottom bar that is also holding it up in the middle. So it should be pretty good there, and it should be at a decent height for a slammed Miata pulling something. But usually the tow hitch would be underneath here, but we're moving it up just a little bit, or relatively around the same point. So I mean, the car is gonna be a little lower at some point here, but right now that's what I'm going off of, and if I have to change anything, I guess I can, but I'm just gonna run it kind of like that, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so now that I have the tow hitch receiver all cleaned up, we're gonna go ahead and mark out where we're gonna be locking this in. So it's 6 inches long, and I believe it's the 2.5. Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of put this side further in to the car, so that way it doesn't stick out too much and look a little weird, and it'll also give us a little room to be able to reach underneath and put the pin in, and it'll look a little better like this, and then the jack point will come out underneath it, which would be pretty sweet. I'm gonna start tacking the hitch in place. It's pretty much where I want it, and then I'll be able to reach underneath the bumper if I do have a little square cutout or something, and put the pin in and stuff. We'll see how it goes. I think that's looking pretty solid. Everything's tacked up. I'm just gonna go ahead and take off the bash bar, weld it on the ground, and then probably just paint this thing and now we're finished besides cleaning it up. And that's how it'll look. I'm pretty happy with it. It looks pretty straight. Basically done welding up the entire thing. I'm just going ahead and getting these small little plates to cover this hole because I don't really want to fill that gap. That's pretty big, and that could be structural. So I'm just gonna tack this little plate in there to cover both the holes on each side, and then we can wrap up the welding and kind of clean up all the welds because they are a little boogery, but we do have good penetration, as you can see through the inside of there. So it does not matter if your welds look pretty bad. As long as you get penetration, you should be good. Other than that, you could just clean them up and they'll look pretty decent. So I'll kind of show you how it'll look with them cleaned up. We're almost complete here. Just letting the rust reform that I just sprayed on all of the welds and spots where I think it's gonna rust, and we're just gonna let that cure, and then I can finally throw this back on the car, get some bigger bolts. All right, now that I have the bash bar back on there, we can finally test the jack point. Hoping for no bending movement or anything of that nature. Slight bend on the bar, but seems stable right about here. It works. All right, so I might not be able to get the car like fully all the way in the air on this yet, because it did bend the plate that I have attached to the car, but I'm just gonna reinforce that with another plate on the backside and make it thicker. All right, so as you can see, I'm having a little problem with the bumper there, right in the middle, of course, because I have the jack point now. So right underneath, I'm just gonna mark it where I need to cut, and then I'm just gonna cut a little slit here so you can kind of see this hanging out. Eventually I want to do the bumper cut though, so this won't really matter. Could just do the bumper cut now, but I don't know, we'll see. There's how it kind of fully sits with the bumper kind of just zip tied on both sides. This side has a small little gap here, but I can fix that a little later. I'm gonna do that probably around the time I do paint and body work. This side's a little better, but it still has a little tiny gap, but I need to kind of make something over here, maybe a little bracket to hold it up, but eventually we'll do all that. It looks pretty good so far though. The jack point works, it just is probably needing a little more support, so eventually I'll add that on there as well. But all right, so I finally got it to a point to where the bash bar can lift the car completely off the ground. Could go a little higher with it just to show you. Off the ground. So we have finally completed and succeeded on this bash bar here. To show you guys what I did is I put a small L bracket here to the plate and to the edge of where it's holding up the bash bar, and one on top as well on both sides, so that way the bar can't flex up and down too much, and also, like I said, going inwards or bumping into anything, it won't be really doing anything besides denting this pole here, hopefully. But we are finished. The bumper fits on, and I'm pretty excited with how it looks. So we're gonna end the video here. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on this video. We have almost 1,000 subscribers. I have a lot more content coming, especially for this summer. We have a lot of scooter stuff to do. We have a lot of car stuff to do, and we're gonna be drifting both cars this summer at Great Lakes Dragway and hopefully many other spots. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, hit that down below, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Hit the clutch, go.